Right. So, as far as the Guidewire configuration is concerned, we must be knowing about what are the different configuration components that we have when there is any kind of job configuration is involved. Because job configuration, either it can be for policy submissions, renewals, right? So different roles that we see. So for the job configuration components, where we'll be having some type list where the location can be identified under the extension file under the Guidewire Developer Studio, like configuration type list job type. Next, we need to define the different job types. Either it can be a policy submission of the application, or it can be changes in the policy, or it can be renewals, cancellations, etc. All these things will be part of type list whenever we are working on the Guidewire Developer Studio as a policy center Guideware developer. So under the type list, under this location, we need to define all the job types. That is the first one. Second, we need to define the job entity structure. Job entity structure where we have different key entities, something like job, policy period, policy, underwriting issue, activities. These are all the job entity structures that has to be defined, because there is a relatability where job which can be connected with the policy period, the type of policy, all this. Next, page configuration widget, right? So where we have to update the location here, right? So configuration, under the configuration of Guidewire Developer Studio, PCF job. But make sure we need to update the controls. Like we need to update job widget steps. At the same time, whatever the screen workflows we have, including navigation logics, everything has to be updated in the controls part. For example, start, okay, policy start or any kind of policy information. These are the different widget setups. Generally, we must update under the PCF widget configurations, along with locations, right? So coverages, all that stuff. So this is a basic example I've just taken for XML. This is an example for snippet, right? So where that can be there. Next, about the workflow configuration, where in the same location, we will be finding all the configuration workflows, wherein whenever we want to update any controls like automatic activities, or it can be any referral routings, or any approval flows, or any kind of escalations, everything will be part of controls. This is all comes under the workflow configuration. For example, workflow name we want to know, right? So submissions or any kind of activity pattern, something like underwriting review activities or something, everything can be done under the workflow configurations. Next, rules configurations. Rule configuration, where we have to update the configuration rules in GoSu, because .gs files we will be using in Guidewire Developer Studio. We can use it. Next, about the types. What are the different types that we have, right? So underwriting rules are majorly for referral logic will be used. Validation rules are used for data enforcements, and assignment rules are being used for work distribution. How we are going to assign work and for what, to whom are we assigning all that. Next, pre-update rules are being used for the database to commit before. So these are the different rule types that we can see. Underwriting, validation, assignment, pre-update rules, everything has to be updated in the developer studio. At the same time, in the UI also, in the user interface of Policy Center, you will be finding administration. There you will be finding business. In that you will be finding underwriting rules. There we have to write down all the different rule types, including whatever the example that I was given here. For validation, I'm required. For example, any validation rule. This is how generally the validation rule we have to write. In star.gosu files you will be finding. Here we have to write the validation rule in this manner.